1:30 on this Sunday afternoon. Nice and chilly here in Pennsylvania again. Can't complain though. It's supposed to be 60 and sunny for race day on Friday. Race day. Yes, finally. Long time of waiting. But it's finally arrived. It's race day. Hopefully, Mother Nature and the car cooperate with me this week. Kind of need a good night to boost my spirits, you know? Anyways, just going to go over a few things we've been doing these past few weeks. Doesn't look like much has been done to the car, obviously, because it kind of hasn't. I always say I spend half my time in here looking for tools that I just had in my hand. But anyways, we thought we were going to have to rush to get it ready 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Whenever it snowed like 2 feet here almost. We got 18 inches down here. I don't know what they got at Trailway. Probably a little bit more. But they canceled, obviously, that week. The week after, we were supposed to practice. I think that was this week. I'm not sure. We were supposed to practice. Anyways, this week we were supposed to practice this past week, Tuesday, and they canceled that. Then they postponed it to Thursday. They canceled that. Then they canceled the Saturday and the Saturday race and the Sunday rain date. So, yeah, we'll give it another shot Friday when Mother Nature supposedly is going to cooperate with us. We'll see. We'll see. It is April, and anything can happen in April in Pennsylvania, obviously. But, yeah, obviously, first thing you notice probably is we have the engine on the car finally. First thing I'm going to go over is the engine. So we got new engine plates. Our other ones were cracked right around the bolt here. These ones are a little bit bigger, which kind of isn't good because there's a bolt that goes into here that you use to push the engine plates forward. But since they're bigger in back, we can't slide the engine back as much. Thankfully, the chain is still the same. Hopefully it will be when we put the tensioner on, but it probably will change. We're going to get another chain and more master links. We thought we had some, but we don't. That chain down there is old. That's one of our spares, and it's not a gold chain, so. But, yeah, we got a new carburetor. As you can see, nice and shiny. Nice and shiny. We're going out Friday with rich jets in it, really rich. We'd rather have it flood than blow up again. The hardest thing I thought it was going to be hard to get the throttle cable into the needle valve. If you don't know, carburetors have a valve in them that when you push down on the throttle pedal, it opens the valve and air and fuel is allowed to come in. And there's these things called jets in them which regulate the fuel and airflow through them. We're going out with rich, which means there's more fuel, less air. Which is a good thing when you're like us and you blew up every week last year, pretty much. But anyways, for the hardest thing that I did, well, my dad actually finished it because I got tired of trying. These, I don't know what you would call them, but I call them crimps because that's what they do. They crimp the throttle cable into. Well, anyways, you have to tighten down. You have to put the throttle cable into a slot in these and keep this little notch here within a certain amount of distance between the from the crimp, from the first crimp. And while you're doing that, you have to make sure it doesn't fall out of the slots in the crimps and tighten them down at the same time. So I got tired of trying that. I probably could have got it eventually, but I just told my dad since he's done it before, he might as well do it again. Thanks, Dad, for doing that. The other hard thing was the manual wing slider, as you can see right there. What that does is, if you look, it slides the wing back and forth, just like it says in its name, manual wing slider. That was harder taking off than it was putting back on, but even putting back on, it was hard because if you look at the slots in the frame, it doesn't just slide out. You have to take the rod ends off of each side in order to take them out of the slots. So yeah, that was hard getting off. A little bit hard getting back on, not as much though. That's another thing we did. We bled the brakes out. They work perfectly fine now. The shifter cable is on it, hooked up, as you can see. We hooked up the antifreeze lines to the engine. Today I hooked up the fuel line to the engine. One of the things we made a mistake on last year was we had the fuel valve before the filter, which we found out that wasn't a good idea after we found a huge chunk of rubber in our fuel valve, which was limiting fuel flow. And anybody who knows about 270s knows that the less fuel you have, pretty much you might as well just pull off the track and shut it off because you're going to blow up. That night we blew up and we figured out, don't ever do that again. Which, yeah, as you can see, we haven't. With the fuel tank, it is, I'll show you here. Most fuel tanks, like on sprint cars and stuff, or 600s and stuff, from what I've seen, have a rail that's attached to the bolts on the bottom of them and on the top. Ours just goes right into the frame. As you can see, it just slides right into the frame. So, number one, the seals were busted, well, cracked, whatever you want to say, loose up here on the top. So if I would have rolled over and gotten in an accident, it would have started pouring fuel out on me, which is not a good thing at all. But so we siliconed washers to them and put a little nut in between the frame and the fuel tank. That way the fuel tank isn't rubbing up against the frame. Yeah, and I squared the chassis. It's not difficult to do that. That's pretty straightforward and simple. Trying to think of something else. I know there's something else we did, but I honestly can't think of it right now. So this afternoon, after I was in the shop, thanks to my brother-in-law Nick Hockstead, he got the trailer fixed up. The boards on this part of it were rotten and they started falling apart. Thanks to him for that, and my dad did it. I always say I'm not good with wood. I couldn't be a carpenter. Give me anything, give me a wrench and I'll work on your car. Give me pipe and I'll do anything with plumbing or HVAC, but I can't do wood. I'm not a carpenter. So yeah, that's what this evening was spent doing. That's kind of one of the things, you know, that nobody really gets to see. The normal everyday grassroots race car driver. Open trailer, home built. You do your own work on it. yeah, and that's one of the reasons I made these videos, so people could see the normal everyday dirt track driver. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.